Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Lift Shit, Get Banged podcast.
I thought you paused at lift shit then. I thought you were going to wait for me to go, get banged.
We could do that if we want to.
We could do.
We can do a dramatic intro, Lift Shit.
Get banged. I was just telling Sophia I had to, whenever you name a podcast, like it's different, isn't it? Like me, you and Rachel going like, oh, what's on brand? What should we come up with? When my barber said, oh, what's the name of your podcast? And I was like, Lift Shit, Get Banged. And he was like, cool.
Oh, that's nice.
It's different saying it to someone completely outside of our space, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
But you have to just say it with pride.
Absolutely. And we've got a cool new backdrop.
Casa del Henley Fitness.
Yeah, so we are officially in the Henley Fitness pad. Rachel has buggered off travelling for, how long is she actually away for?
The month? Another month from now?
Yeah.
No.
She's another month from now.
Yeah.
And she's already been away for 1 month.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's 2 months. So I am officially house sitting and making sure that her dear fur babies, Mabel and Ozzy, who hopefully they're around somewhere, are being well looked after. Yeah, Mabel is a little bit more shy, so she doesn't come out.
She featured in a previous podcast, didn't she? But she was blanket.
Yeah, she was hiding. Also, I think the men's voices scare her a little bit.
Yeah, and my voice isn't the softest.
No, but it's hilarious because you're also the most gentle human. Like the least scary.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't blame her. She just has a vendetta against all men, apparently.
We're not great. We're the inferior agenda.
Yeah, we don't judge Mabel on her judgment. We listen, but we don't judge. But you might see them featured at some point. And we've been left to run the show. Rachel, for some reason, has trusted us with, obviously we do the podcast anyway, but with navigating Blitz, taking over check-ins. What else have we been doing?
Yeah, our Blitz gang are going to see us running the lives between the coaches each week. So we'll get something a little bit different, which I think will be cool. Yep. There'll be lots of content on the Lifting Club page where we'll be looking at a lot of the cool stuff our Blitz guys get up to and letting you guys in on the details for the next round. So that will be coming in the next month. And hopefully you guys can see a bit of a difference in the quality that we're putting into the podcast. We initially, our goal was just to start and give it a go. Like we encourage you guys and our clients to just show up.
Imperfect action, the shit out of the podcast. Just get it going. It's been a bold job. And especially because, we first started the first episode back in June. That was the first recording. And we've changed locations many a time. We were downstairs.
We've done my house with Romeo and Pudding.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah, we've done Dragon, the co-working space that we both work out of.
We didn't like that very much. We liked Dragon, the co-working space, but the visual was a bit shit. We just didn't, it wasn't a good vibe.
No. And hopefully this is a little bit more natural and a little bit better. We're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there. But let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you think. Give us the feedback because obviously we just want to make it as cool for you guys as we possibly can. And something that's really exciting is that we have changed the structure of the podcast and what we want to share with you all. So we've got lots of exciting things to come and we hope that you enjoy it. Something that has brought me pure joy this week is knowing that we are finally out of almost the winter months. So I put on my stories the other day. It was like a really cute little graphic of the sun, and it was knowing that the sun isn't going to be setting before 5 p.m. now until October.
I track this closer than you would think because I am counting down the days until I can go and play twilight rounds of golf in the evening after work. So I know exactly what the time the sunset is from now until the summer.
I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is because obviously the science behind it and sunlight exposure, vitamin D exposure. But even with the SAD lamp, getting outside when there is sunlight in the winter, nothing hits the same as coming into spring, getting your walks done, listening to the sounds of nature. And something that I actually realised, so I haven't done a lot of big nature walks since I've been back in England. So I came back to the UK the last week of November, start of December. And then I've been basically house maneuvering, house hopping since then. And I was staying with my mum and dad for a little bit who live on an estate, and there are fields in the back, but I don't normally kind of go up there unless I kind of, I don't know, unless I'm really feeling like a big walk. But something that I've really missed out on is just like trees and like birds and flowers. And I'm actually really excited to do some nice long nature walks again.
I'm lucky that I've got Romeo, because that does get me out into nature. Like there's no doubt in my mind that I wouldn't get out as much as I do. And on the weekends, it is one of the highlights of my weekend, just taking Romeo out for an hour, normally in the woods or in some kind of nature reserve. And it's not the same as spring or summer, but you do, just a bit like anything, you do notice a lifting in your mood after.
Absolutely. I've got a little album on my phone, and the album is called Noticing, and it is just little moments that I capture when because I love doing like little videos of like things that are pretty and just make me just feel present. And I've got a little album of all those moments, like the blossom and a cool sunrise, and I'm just really looking forward to that again.
I can't remember the name of the Instagram page, but there is an Instagram page run by an older guy who's in his, I think his children run it for him, but he's in his 70s.
Right.
And he's got a dog that's like a 15-year-old golden retriever.
Oh,
and it's really slowing down. And the whole point of the page is how he would stop on walks and notice things so much more because the dog would stop. And the dog would stop every 30 seconds. And he realised how he walks the same walk every day, but he sees different stuff every day because the dog
that's so
walks
brilliant.
so slowly.
Can you send me his account?
I'll see if I can find it.
That is pretty much what I was trying to do, like but obviously not putting it on Instagram just for like personal reasons. But I think, so for context, my dog passed away in August, which was really sad. And I don't think I've been doing that as much since she's not been there. I've been going out, stomping around, headphones in.
Your walks are they're intentional, aren't they? They're pretty quick.
Military operation. So I need to get back on board with that again. But for anybody who has been in a bit of a shitty headspace with, it is like it's the last bit, guys. We're so close, we're nearly there. And onwards and upwards from here.
Yeah.
The winter solstice is done.
Yeah, we're coming out of that awkward in between bit, aren't we? Like, I quite like the winter when it's actually like, well, we don't get snow in the UK, do we?
But we used to. I was talking to my friends about this the other day.
But when it's seriously cold, it's kind of, there's something about it that's like, around Christmas, I kind of like it. But then you just get this wet, kind of cold in between stage, which we're nearly out of.
We're nearly there. January to March, if you don't live in the UK, like, just know that January to March in the UK fucking sucks. Like, it's grey, it's cold, but not cold enough to be like nice, like he said. But we're nearly there, guys. We are nearly there.
So our new segment is called
Unfuck Your Fitness.
That was the most pathetic little drum roll. It was like,
that was shit.
The biggest thing that we find people come to us with is just a head full of confusion. We notice it, I think, when we go into other fields, like if we pick up a new hobby or we want to learn about personal finance, like we fall prey to that stuff because we're looking at people that are seemingly experts and trusting that what they're saying is true.
Especially in a world now where social media is so prominent and there is so much shit out there from people that do not have the credentials to be, putting that information out there.
Why are we any different? Why should you trust us?
Why should you trust us?
Maybe you shouldn't.
I mean, we are qualified professionals.
That's a start.
Yeah.
And we like to base most of what we structure our kind of fundamental coaching principles off of in research.
Yeah.
Heavily evidence-backed research. So that's what this segment is going to be. We're going to pick a myth, something that pisses us off, that is just put out there that's just false, and we're going to give you guys an understanding as to why you should write it off as total bollocks. And a lot of this stuff is likely harming your gains, is likely causing you more pain and frustration than you need.
Wasting your time.
So the aim of this is that we're going to simplify how you do things.
And unfuck your fitness. And this very much aligns with how our brains work. Everything that we do, we're like, why? Why does that the case? Where's the evidence to show that? And that's how we like to coach our clients. So this will give you a little snippet of that as well.
And we're not going to fuck up your fitness, as we called it before we turned the cameras off by accident.
Unfuck.
So what are we going to focus on today?
So the topic that we are going to home in on today is Do carbs make you fat?
I think where this really comes from is around carb spiking insulin and insulin making us fat directly. And it leads to this almost narrative that a low carb diet is better. I think keto is the perfect example of that, because keto will work, but keto is just a form of energy balance manipulation. It's a form of finding a calorie deficit. And I think there's so much, we will always have so much nuance in what we say, because we're not going to demonize keto and say that it won't work for anybody. For somebody who wants a very simple approach of just removing a food group to be in a deficit, it can work for a very specific individual, but we have to understand why it's working, and that we don't think that carbs are the enemy and carbs are bad. And the reason why someone has lost 5 kilos on keto is because of carbs.
And actually, the thing that we can play with the most when we're in a calorie deficit is our carbohydrates. We encourage to prioritize your protein first, your fiber, which does come under your carbohydrates as well, but also looking at, predominantly fibrous carbs, your healthy fats. But then your starchy carbs, that is where we've got wiggle room.
Yeah, and I think an important caveat before we move on to the fuck is that the reason why I think a low carb diet gains so much attention is because we will see very quick progress on the scale, because we are removing carbs. We're going to retain less water, because carbs act like a bit of a sponge in the body and help us retain water. So we take out kind of, in simple terms, one of our water retention systems, and we drop weight very quickly.
An emphasis on the weight, not body fat initially.
As soon as we introduce carbs again, we're going to gain back that water weight.
Yeah.
So I kind of touched on it already, in that fat loss is driven by energy balance. It's driven by the balance between the amount of calories we consume and the amount of calories we burn. And that being not just the amount of calories we burn through movement and exercise, but just existing, breathing, farting, as I thought you wrote in your planner earlier.
Yeah, what did I say? Fats, not farts.
I thought Sophia put farts are bad. And I was like,
farts
okay,
are bad.
Fair enough.
Fairs, fairs.
I agree. So it's that understanding that what will allow a low carb diet to work is being in a calorie deficit, burning more calories than we are consuming through daily movement, through exercise, and through existing. And we wanted to, as we said earlier, back up the unfucking with some studies, with some research. And we've got 2 studies here that both compared low fat diets versus low carb diets under as controlled a condition as we can get. And one was across a 12-month period, one was across an 18-month period, and the differences were completely negligible. And it's because, again, it comes down to energy balance, not which macronutrient we're removing from our diet. I wouldn't recommend removing protein.
Something that I have spoken to a couple of my clients about this week is that technically, if you wanted to, you could lose body fat and just eat Haribo all day, but you would feel like a sack of shit. Yeah. And you would feel hungry. Whereas we do want to prioritize the macronutrients that are going to help you feel full, that are going to help you feel energized, that are going to support muscle growth, that are going to support getting in your macro and micronutrients.
I used this analogy yesterday on a call, is we're a bit like Sherpas. Like, we know different routes up the same mountain, and one route might suit someone better than another. So there's multiple ways that we can get to the same goal, but we have to think about, what do we as individuals need and want to feel and want to experience during that fat loss phase. If you're listening to this podcast, you might be interested in strength training. If we were to follow a keto diet and completely remove carbs, we're going to find that our energy in the gym and our performance in the gym suffers.
Yeah.
If we're dieting for even a small period of time, if we're not prioritizing protein, we're going to find that our recovery from training and our muscle growth is going to suffer. It's going to be less efficient. We're going to find that we're hungrier. And it's almost like we would put energy balance at the top of what's responsible for fat loss. But then everything that kind of filters below that in terms of priorities makes it easier.
Yeah.
Makes it a more enjoyable journey, helps us build habits that go beyond just that fat loss phase.
And makes it sustainable. So you guys can actually stick to it without feeling like you want to throw yourself off of a bridge after 2 weeks in, which, you know, fair enough.
And I think the takeaway that we want you guys to take from this is that all diets, to an extent, as long as they have you in a negative energy balance, as long as they have you in a calorie deficit, will work. Any diet you can think of will likely work.
It could be the Haribo diet. It could be a lettuce leaf diet.
I was trying to think of, obviously got keto, you've got intermittent fasting, is another popular one. And again, there's nothing magical about that fasting window. It's just a way of finding a negative energy balance. And that's what we want you guys to understand, is whichever one you pick, that's why it will or won't work.
Lovely. So we hope that we have unfucked your fitness slightly this week and put your brain at rest if you have seen any crap online or out in the world in general.
Yeah, and we'd love for you guys to get involved with this. If you guys have any things that you want unfucking, any myths that you would like dispelled, then pop either one of us a DM on Instagram. I'm Ben at Henley Fitness, Sophia's Sophia Henley Fitness, or pop an email over to our coaching@henleyfitness.com email. And we'll make a note of it and we'll include it in one of our future podcast episodes.
Yeah, we want you guys to get involved. And if you haven't subscribed to us already, why? Make sure to hit the follow button. The more that we can engage with you guys, the more it obviously kind of helps push the podcast and the more that we can up the production and support you guys with your goals.
And the closer we get to a monster sponsorship, which is why I'm here. It's why I'm doing this. That's the end. That's the end goal.
That's the only reason we're here, for the sponsorship, realistically.
Save me thousands of pounds a year.
To help you guys as well.
Yeah, that as well.
Kind of. See you guys on the next episode of the Lift Shit Get Banged.
I thought he was going to wait for me.
Oh, sorry. Should we do that again? Let's do that again. The Lift Shit
Get Banged
podcast.